and then the fourth quarter came, and you guys went nuts. What was it about the sack that affected you, and then what was the moment that it clicked for you to get things back on track?
Yeah, I think through the whole game I just continued to battle, and it's not just about me, it's about this offense, about this team. We just continue to fight all the way through the end.
Can you talk about the guy next to you and Justice Ross Simmons and Darryl Gill, the big catches that they made, and just how important they were to engineering such a comeback?
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of those guys. You know, the preparation they put in, just overall the grind, it's just day in and day out, you know, for them to be on this stage and have this moment. I couldn't be more happy for them, and, you know, I truly love those guys, and I couldn't be more appreciative of what they've done for our offense and what they're continuing to do.
After your 2 turnovers, what was Fran's message to you?
Just keep playing, keep fighting. It's not over. You know, we just got to keep going.
Dan?
Steve, when you look at bend but don't break, when you had some of those moments that didn't go your way down the stretch, and then how you played in the fourth quarter and in overtime, just what you can say about personally yourself and the team bending but not breaking.
Yeah, you know, from Coach Nuns this week, one of our goals for the quarterback unit and, you know, a key to victory is to be the toughest guy on the field mentally and physically. And, you know, the entire game I was just trying to show that to my teammates, you know, everyone on the field, and just continuing to fight.
And then, Dan, for you, you had the first down at home this season for 2025. You told me going into the season they have no idea what's coming. Just what you can say about how the team fought back and how some of those plays you had fought the team back into it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have a lot of fight in us because how we train and how we practice. And ultimately, practice is harder than a lot of these games. Like, we just practice so hard, so we just never fought. We never gave up.
We're also joined by Kevin Joby. We'll go to Chris now.
Steve, on the 4th and 2 where the blitzer came free, what happened there? Was it a miscommunication up front? Do you need to be hot and get rid of the ball, or like what?
Just mis-ID the front.
And then in terms of rebounding from it, right? I could never take a hit and rebound the way you did. But was it a physical thing at all for you? Was it just a mental thing in terms of, you know, it took a little time to?
I've been getting hit since I was a kid. It's a part of the game. You just got to get back up and keep playing.
So let's go to Steve right in the back, and then we'll go up front to Zach and Christian.
Got a question for Steve and a question for Dan. Steve, I'll start with you. Coach Fran talked about trying to keep it loose on the sidelines with the offense, with you in particular, saying, you know, let's go have fun out there. Was there an individual play maybe that got you going a little bit and got the offense going? Because that really was a remarkable turnaround from the first 3 quarters to what we saw at the end. Was there something in particular that kind of clicked for the offense that got you going?
I think when you're able to string together just a series of positive plays, it really, for this offense, all it takes is one play. And, you know, I think we showed that, you know, throughout the day. It's just you need one play to kind of create a spark and then just continuing to build. And the more plays you make, the more energy that's created. And the biggest thing is just being in the huddle and looking at those guys in the face and, you know, just making sure to tell them, hey, we got this, we're going to be okay. And, you know, just making sure that those little moments we're staying positive and staying up.
And Dan was one of those guys that did provide a spark for you. And Dan, I want to come to you next. You know, you gave a really insightful answer last year about the culture that's being built here and what Fran's trying to do. Can you speak to winning a game like this and how it kind of speaks to the culture that you all seem to be buying into this last year and a half?
Yeah, I mean, you could just see how tough we are and how we never stop fighting. You just see the culture starting to build. And, you know, in years past, I don't know if we would have fought back like that. And, you know, I feel like we're together. We're really together this year.
Steve, you talk about in terms of like plays giving you guys a spark. You hit Justice on the 4th down there for the touchdown. Just what did you see with that play, and was that kind of the play that gave you momentum to go on and win the game?
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in Justice. Just, you know, he's an unbelievable receiver, unbelievable route runner, and big body, just very strong hands. So, you know, a one-on-one to the boundary, I was giving him a chance, and he made the play for me.
You went back to him in overtime, and it was kind of a 50-50 ball. He somehow hung on to that. Like, what was the trust like to give him just the opportunity to go and make a play?
Man, he has some of the strongest hands I've ever seen at a receiver position. Just the way he's able to just catch the football, focus, just his body control. It's extremely impressive. So I've seen it countless times in practice. So I feel very confident throwing him the football.
Christian.
Dan, for you,
pleased are you to see the work that you've put in this offseason come to fruition to this game today?
Very pleased. We put in the work. I put in the work myself, and it's very pleasing. It's definitely very pleasing, but we got a lot more work to do, and this ain't it.
What's it like working with the guy next to you?
Steve's awesome, man. Steve's great. We're really trying like to build connection, and we're talking on the phone. We're getting extra routes, extra catches. Like we really want to be great, and he really wants to be great, and he loves football, and it's just been great so far.
There's somebody right behind you, actually, WADR.
Dan, in a game like this, you've obviously been around the block, you're a veteran leader on this team. What do you think you can provide to the huddle, especially some of the newer guys here, some of the younger guys who haven't been through this before, keeping their head in the game as you get into the second half and things didn't click immediately?
Yeah, I could, keep guys' heads on straight and keep everybody positive, just with my voice. It's hard to stay focused. It's hard, especially when you don't get the ball for a long time. It's hard to stay focused because when that ball comes to you, you better make the play. So I could be more vocal, and because these young guys, obviously, they got to learn.
We'll go right in the back here. We're also joined by Justice Ross Simmons now as well.
Steve, thanks for taking the time here today. Chase Coburn here for the league winners. UConn's defense last year was one of the more efficient in college football, and they give you guys some you struggled at the beginning, but then you overcame that. Just speak on the challenges that they provided and how you were able to overcome those challenges amidst a victory.
They're extremely well coached, very well disciplined team. They changed the picture a lot. They kind of live in the world of pre-snap and post-snap. Making sure that pressure's coming from different ways. They're very aware of what they want to get the offense into and just the looks they want to show, and then roll and snap and coverage. So they do a really good job on defense.
This is really for any of you guys. Coach Fran said it, and you guys have told us so many times that you work on these things in practice. And it's repetition and it's repetition. What came through today that you worked on in practice and you said, this is something that we can apply in a tough situation?
I would say resilience. Like in practice every day, we're pushed to our limit. We're exhausted. So in a game like that, a long physical game, it's important to be able to keep pushing. And I think that showed today.
Right on the end here.
Hey Dan, saw you guys running on the field after the game. Have you done something like that in your college career?
Oh, you said what?
Running on the field after the game? The sprints?
Oh, I haven't, but I wasn't surprised. Coach said if we didn't perform how we're supposed to perform, he was going to run us, and I agree with him. We didn't play up to standard.
Hey, this is one for Jobity here. So your defense against Tennessee, a lot of fans said one of the biggest red flags from that game. But tonight, starting from the second half onwards, you kept UConn where they were pretty much.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
We focused on it all week. It was definitely a huge point of emphasis after Tennessee. So it was great to really, get our feet in the ground, get some knockback on the line of scrimmage, and show what we've been working on today. So it was great.
Kevin, going back to you, just what you could say about getting to Fagnano early and just what you tried to do in this game to minimize the opportunities that UConn had, especially also in the second half.
Yeah. Like I said, playing the run was huge. We had to get knocked back on the line of scrimmage in order to win the game. We have to be able to put it on film that teams aren't going to be able to run the ball on us. And so today, that was a huge focus. And then, sorry, could you repeat the question about the sack?
Yeah, just going back to having, being able to do that early on and be able to get to him because it was the only sack in the game.
Yeah. I feel like we got a ton of good pressure on the quarterback today. I think more sacks are definitely coming as we get better at rushing the passer and continue to work on it in practice. It was definitely, super exciting. It was probably my biggest moment from the game, but I think more sacks are coming on the way.
And then Justice, we heard from Steve Angeli said, he trusts your hands, and you have some of the best hands out there. Just what you could say about that play going toward the end zone in overtime and making sure that not only you held on to that ball, but that you were in.
That play, I made that play before, so even though it's new to everybody in the world, it was a routine play for us out there. So I just made sure I held on to the ball and made sure I get the ball across the pylon.
Justice, last week you had some big yardage gains. You forced some very important pass interference calls. And then tonight, again, when you get in a squeeze, you came through with the big plays. What is it about the big moments that just gets you excited and gets you out there and make a play?
When the big plays come, it's best that I stay composed because, like, I know I can make those plays. And when they do come, I just got to make sure that I'm ready. We practice stuff like this, so when the big plays do come, it's a routine. It's routine for me, so I'll be good out there.
So the 2 touchdowns, can you kind of just break down how both of them came about for you?
I was actually talking to my receiver coach, Coach White, and he told me, he was like, the ball's about to come to you. I need you to make a play. I said, I got you. And the ball came to me, and that's exactly what I did. And then overtime, same thing. They said the ball will come to you, Ross. We need you. I said, I got you, Coach.
Yeah, Steve, throughout the week, what were some things you did with your offensive linemen to try to improve that communication? As you know, it's obviously an ongoing thing throughout the year.
Yeah, we had a couple protection meetings throughout the week during the night after practice, just making sure we were going over our protections, what we're trying to do. Everyone really on our offense needs to have an open line of communication, especially up front when you play a team as talented as UConn in terms of different pictures and presentations. So, we try to do our best to make sure we're on the same page, making sure we were seeing it through the same set of eyes. It's a tough battle for them, but I'm happy they did a good job.
How would you evaluate the improvements that you made and how they showed today?
Yeah, I love those guys, man. They battle their asses off, I don't know if I can say that, I'm sorry, but I'm from Jersey. I think that's kind of how it goes. But it happens, in the game of football where you're battling back, and I'm just so proud of those guys up front for never quitting, continuing to keep everyone positive and really just being a spark for us up front.
Hey, you can pass that mic right behind WAER.
This is for anyone who really wants to answer, but obviously playing in front of a crowd in the Dome, you're going to hear a lot of things, a lot of them good, and even some frustrations. I just want to know how you guys play through those moments where you might feel that the fans are a little frustrated, and if you take that to heart and how you deal with that through the course of a game.
It's really about just focusing what's going on the field. You hear noise and what's going on, and, Syracuse fans, they deserve a winning football team. They deserve to watch, something that they can be proud of on the field. So it's our job to go out there and execute the right way.
Kevin, couple injuries against the defensive line. Richard, Tank both went down. How do you as a defense kind of use that either as motivation or just use that to your advantage?
Yeah. Fortunately, this year, we have a really deep D-line, so a bunch of guys are working hard every day in practice, good players. So, it sucks whenever someone gets injured, obviously, but we have so much trust in our depth and the guys who are coming up that we're able to keep pushing after guys, big players like that go down. So.
We'll take 3 more, starting with Tom.
Steve, you mentioned how UConn's defense, it's predicated on the pre-snap and the post-snap, the differences of that. On the interception, it looked like they were running a disguise cover 2. Did you think that you would be able to fit that outside dig in between the defenders, or what was your thought process as that was going on?
Yeah, just trying to force us through, get us back on track. Just can't happen. Got to take care of the football.
And then last 2 will go back to the TD deck. We'll start with Spectrum and then finish.
Hey, Steve. Talk about the pacing. You guys went to the no huddle. What does that do for you to be able to get up to the line, be able to look at the defense, and kind of keep that pacing of the game kind of go pretty quick?
Yeah, the tempo definitely, tends to help us. Like Dan said before, we work extremely hard in the offseason to be able to play, a full 60-plus minute game and be able to play at a high tempo. So, when we're able to kind of execute and get them on their heels a little bit, it definitely helps.
Michael on the end for the last question.
How you doing, Michael Liggis, WNG. Steve, for you, Coach, it was pretty surprising to hear him say that when you were going to the sideline, you talked him up, that you lifted his up. What did you see in him? What did you say to him in that moment when it can be tough to kind of get in your own head?
The biggest thing, you look at your head coach and you see that he's unfazed and, you want to make sure you're modeling that type of behavior. It really just going out to him and just letting him know, hey, I got your back. I can make this happen. And not so much I'd say but we can do this. This offense is built to do this. We trust the defense. Really just we're going to go out there and play complementary football and do our job.